All right, Mil Spec Ops Monkey. This nice Friday afternoon. Just gonna do a quick overview. Saw some action going on with Guantanamo Bay. I just want to get that out to you guys. Hey, I also want to tell you everything that I'm looking at here is all public knowledge. Anybody can do it. The only difference is I've been in aerospace for 30 plus years and I know what I'm looking at. So, you know, I see a lot of people dropping comments in, not necessarily the chat, but afterwards talking about ComSec and everything else. So it's all public access, and probably anybody around the world can look at the same stuff. So anyway, all right, so we will dive in here real fast. So you guys can see right now I've got the current active radar up. It is about 2x normal, normal being 250 aircraft on average that are up, that are all military, and we've got about 523 currently flying. So this it's interesting. I have a theory of what's going on, and I will share that with you guys. I try not to delve too deep into what I'm looking at here, just because of ComSec, right? I don't want to show, you know, troop movements and things like that. I think we've got a lot of prep going on. So, but for first timers, welcome. I will do a quick highlight just to walk you through the clutter on the screen, what we see, just to kind of baseline everybody, because this can be a little confusing if you don't know what you're looking at. Okay. All right. So to start out, this area right here, all the way up in central Texas. Okay. You've got a lot of, these are all, for the most part, all trainers, okay? And it's a lot of them, okay? So little T-38s, T-37s, you may see some F-16s. That's because the big boys come in every once in a while to show the trainers what they, you know, have to look forward to and school them a little bit on flying. So that's what this is. This one here is on the ground. So when you see the dark gray, like right here, for example, we'll go up here to Oklahoma. These that are dark gray are actually taxiing. They're on the ground, okay, but they're squawking. And so the colors right now, this looks, I compare it to kind of Fruity Pebbles. That is going to basically be your altitude. Okay, so the darker the color, the higher the altitude. So something like this with the C5, this bad dude's up at 40,000 plus feet flying. Okay, same thing with this C17. Okay, so that's what you're seeing. Okay, in terms of altitude. So, all right, I will digress. Let me get into Guantanamo Bay. I'd like you guys to just see exactly what's going on and why I've been queuing on this stuff. No pun intended, okay? So if we go over here to, okay, another thing too, let me back up. This is called Open ADSB software, all right? And so this is you can just go to the website, right? I think it's called globe.adsbexchange.com. So anybody that wants to go look at the same stuff and just do some exploring, knock yourself out. You definitely want to go up and hit the U button at the top. There's some filters at the very top right corner called U, H, and T. Hit the U button, and that just cleans it up to nothing but military. If I take that off, the entire screen is covered with little micro airplanes that are all pink and purple, and so it looks like a unicorn blew up on your screen. So, all right, I'll digress now. Now I'm going to jump over to what's called Flight Aware. Okay, it's another software that I use, an app. It's they do have mobile apps for both of these, but they're not as good as the desktop version. Okay, so we're going to go here to Guantanamo Bay, which is NBW, Nancy Baker Whiskey. All right, so you guys can see this is the arrivals board for today. Okay, for Guantanamo Bay. Now, what I'm going to show you here, this right here is Airborne Express coming out of Norfolk. That is a standard flight, comes in every Friday. It's a 767-200 cargo plane, okay? It's a supply run. This one right here, this is Sun Country. It's a 737-800 that comes out of Jacksonville Naval Air Station. Those are usually the JAGs, which are the attorneys, legal eagles, okay? Also a normal flight, all right? Now, this one is the one that I was keying on before. We've seen it. This is a Gulfstream 3. Okay. That is, and I'm going to show you real fast and we'll go back. This is the medical bird. Okay, this is coming from Cartersville, Georgia. It's owned and operated by a company called Phoenix Air, which is a known farm bird operation. Okay, so that's that one. All right, now go back up. Here's another one. This one is a normal flight. Okay, this is National Jets, and it's a LJ-45. These are contractors. They came in. It looks like they're a little delayed. I think the original arrival was supposed to be 7:04 or something. But anyway, that's a normal flight too. Okay. Now, what you're going to notice is there was a bird. Where did it go? That dropped off. There was another aircraft that was actually due in, and it's not showing now. Let me see if I go into depth, if it shows. It is not on here. Interesting. Okay. So that one has dropped off. So there were two aircraft coming in back to back, and the other one was actually, it was a N183 PA. Now it could still be coming in, and they just not showing on the board right now. So that is not uncommon. So we'll go take a look at that real fast. As you can see, the medical bird that's coming in from Cartersville is going to be departing and going up to Washington, D.C. Okay, I don't have any other information on that aircraft once it gets there. So we go take a look. Let's see. All right. So here's it's coming into Guantanamo Bay. All right. And then it's going to go to DC and then back from DC to Cartersville this afternoon. So I don't know who they're taking up there, but it's a medical flight. Yeah, I think I've showed you guys the interior of this thing, and it's a bunch of beds, medical beds and medical equipment. So all right, so the one that dropped off, I'm going to take a look and see if it got rerouted. So that is Nancy 183 Papa Alpha, operated by Sandy Wings LLC. All right, so this one was on the board. This is a beautiful Gulfstream. This one was on the board for an arrival, and it looks to me, it's actually, all right, check this out. Now you notice it wasn't on the Guantanamo Bay board we just looked at, okay? But here you have it right here, heading up to DC, almost there, and then it's going to come back to Cartersville, same thing. All right, and so it looks like this is also operated by Phoenix Air. Okay, that's probably the PA at the end. That's totally different aircraft than, well, actually, let me take that back. Why is the tail number different on this one? Okay, so these are the things that make you go, all right. So we just looked at the black and white bird, and it had a completely different tail number, right? This is an FAA registry, so it's the N is the National 183 PA, okay? But the flight number PHA 232 is the same as the other one. But notice the operator here, Sandy Wings LLC, and then it's got, that's actually the owner, sorry, and the operator is Phoenix Air, which that is interesting. Now, if I go back to this one, PA 232, that is a totally different aircraft. So interesting. All right, or maybe they had it painted, but that to me, I don't know. That's suspect. I tell you what, they make it so fun trying to just track these flights down. So you've got two different things, different paint jobs. That's got the CIA's name all over it. All right, so there's that one. The next one I wanted to look at was this one right here. It's scheduled to depart and come in. So it's coming in as CG 2304. It's actually coming out of Liberia, Costa Rica. And so if you guys have ever been down to Costa Rica, you know there's a lot of Americans down there. So this could be somebody, being exfilled out and taken to Guantanamo Bay that's been captured. So I don't have any specs on the aircraft type itself, and I have nothing else here in terms of any other activity. Let me see if there's any flight history on this thing. Nope. Goose egg. All right. Boy, they make it fun. Okay, so that is the activity today for Guantanamo Bay. Looks like you got 4 arrivals. And this one here looks like it's kind of suspect. So this looks to me like this is actually the other white bird that they're showing, and it's got a secondary number on it. So we'll have that's very interesting. So that tells me we can probably find information on that aircraft flying other routes, other things, in addition to this. So it's basically it identifies it as two different type of aircraft. Go figure. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take a look. We're going to go look at N331CK. This is the Kalita bird we've talked about for a couple days. I just want to look and see what it's been doing. All right, landed an hour and 2 minutes ago. So this aircraft is one that's been going back and forth to the black sites. Okay, Miami to Dominican Republic to Port-au-Prince, Dominican Republic, and it looks like it's back over Miami to Dominican Republic today. So that somebody's getting a shakedown. So there's that one, and we're going to look at. Let's see here. And so let me look at LN 491. All right, so the other day we were looking at this one, and this is another one of those switcheroos that they've done. So this one popped into the spa at about 12:30 in the morning earlier this week, okay? Now what I find interesting is that I can't find anything when I keyed in this aircraft tail number, it actually showed up as a Libyan aircraft. And there's flights from Fort Lauderdale up to Jacksonville under the guise of being a Libyan aircraft, okay? But I can't find anything else on it. And if you look, this airplane is doing the exact same stuff as the Kalita Air, right? This is going to Trinidad Tobago, can't speak today, the Port of Spain, right? So it's also Miami, Lauderdale, Kingston, Jamaica. That's the other black site, right? That's the same thing with the 331. And then here it went to Nassau, Bahamas, okay? So these are what I think we're looking at are rendition flights, and they are super active. You can see this all started around just after, right after the election, and they've been going and blowing for a couple weeks now. Okay, so what's interesting is there is another aircraft out there that's just in 491 RV, and it's exactly the same. It's a Learjet 35 owned by a company out of Miami that is also one of the very popular agency birds. Okay, so I think what we've got going on here is these guys are trying to do some switcheroos to throw us off, and so they come in under one and take off under another, or show different activities under one certain tail number. And I don't know if that's for billing reasons or, some of these aircraft, if you look at the ownership, they actually call it, for example, like this one would be a N491 RV LLC, right? Limited Liability Corporation. And so they have a separate P&L for these airplanes. So it's really interesting how they set these things up. But okay. So that is where we are for that. I'm going to look over here. I'm going to go check out XPL. XPL is the Honduras location, and that's the other prison, speculated prison location that is a kind of overflow for Guantanamo Bay. So we've got that going on. This bird right here is this one came from Fort Lauderdale this morning, I want to say. It's Spirit Airlines. So I think what we're looking at here are probably troops. Okay. And so it's just probably a troop replan, which, we've been seeing them staff up at both Guantanamo and here. So not uncommon. So that's probably what we're looking at. Man, I can't believe we put our troops on the worst airline in the world. I wouldn't put cargo on that plane. Oh, okay. So that said, I'm going to pop back onto the main map. And every time I bug out, I get people saying, yo, man, you need to talk about California. So I'm going to drive this thing over to California. And we're going to take a look at some of the activity just because I want to scratch that itch. I know I forget about the left side of my screen. I focus on DC and Guantanamo Bay and that stuff. So it looks to me like right now we've got quite a few C-17s inbound. These are high altitude, 40 plus thousand feet. Got a B-52. That looks like this is a bomb range out here. So these guys are probably just flying through the mountains doing some bomb runs and stuff. This is right now it's high altitude, but they do that. They'll set up just outside of the bomb range, and then they do it's a free fall. That airplane drops all the way down to about 200 foot off the deck, and it's like a fighter going through the mountains. It's, if you've ever seen it, or you can pull videos of it, it's incredible. It's so big and so massive. To see that thing go through the mountains at low altitude just looks freaky. So anyway, all right, like we got some C-17s rolling out of down by the border. I saw a U-2 up here a minute ago. Let's see if it's still up and around. It may pop back on the screen, but these right here are refueling tracks. Oh, there's our U-2 right here. So our U-2 is sitting up at around 29,700 feet, and I'll zoom in so you guys can see. It actually flies that area. It comes out of Beale Air Force Base, and it's pretty common for them to fly around that area. I don't know what they do, but that aircraft sitting up at 60,000 feet can read the camera on that U-2, can read your screen on your iPod or on your iPhone from 60,000 feet. So they have satellites that can do that too, but that's not super well known, and it kind of freaks people out. But if you were sitting, say, lounging by the pool and had your iPhone open and they wanted to see who you were talking to, they could grab a screenshot of your phone, which is mind-boggling when you really think about that. So, all right. So looks like we got all right, this right here is a G5 coming out of San Francisco, and that O2 number, I want to say that is a Homeland Security bird. I know the O1 is, so O2 is probably, it's one of the directors for probably Homeland Security. So I don't know what they were doing, but they are getting it. So 571 knots, 41,000 feet. Yep, they're pretty quickly doing that. So like we got a little, that's a dolphin. So this is just a Coast Guard bird. Looks like it's just been checking out the bay. Not anything uncommon there. And so tanker. All right, so we're talking about those tankers. I will show you what I was talking about earlier. These tracks right here. So this C-130, it's actually pretty low. It may be landing. Looks like it's coming in for a landing. So, but this is a air refueling track right here. This blue line says AR6. So what happens is refuelers will come in on this line and they'll fly it at a set altitude, and then your fighters will dock up with that and get gassed up. So that's a fighter out here flying around. So like he's just doing having some fun, getting a little stick time out. So I don't know what kind that is. It looks like it's an F-16 based on the icon, but I've seen F-35s kind of show like that too sometimes. So not uncommon. What we have here, a little BE-20, probably just doing some, I don't know what that one's doing, flying around. Almost looks like it's looking for something with this little big loop-de-loops, but no telling. All right, down here on the border. So this is on ground, just like, looks like it's just landed. So P3, that's a Sub Hunter, and PJ, I don't know where that's coming out of. Probably out of Beale or something up here. Yeah. All right, so that's California. This right here is a V-22 Osprey. Looks like they're doing some stuff off of, look at the altitude on that. Speed 344 knots. So he's scooting along at about 1,000 foot off the deck. So, and flying around a lot. So this little jagged things that you see, he's not flying jagged like that. He's jamming. That's when you see an aircraft and it's got that real jagged thing. You'll see Air Force One will do that a lot too when they're flying. That's going to be he's just jamming. So he's got electronic warfare going. So he's out there flying around in circles. So they may be looking for something. People get lost off the coast here quite a bit, and they also do a lot of training off the coast there. So, all right. So let me back this up again. We'll take a look over Europe real fast. So East Coast here. Let's delve into DC real fast and see what we got. See a lot of helos. A lot of helo activity. So H60s. Other H60, lots of H60s. Let me go over here. I'm just going to filter it by H60 real fast. We're going to take a look. See. All right, so these looks like we got them kind of scattered out a little bit. Baltimore's been pretty heavy with some H60 activity lately. So we'll see. All right, set that. Okay, E6. So that right there, that E6 is a it's called Looking Glass. So that is that's a Doomsday plane as well. That's a flying command center. So it kind of falls in line. Sometimes they'll alternate between Night Watch. I didn't see Night Watch up today, so but I do see this one, and so it looks like he's putting around off the East Coast. So, but from that aircraft, so if he were to have an attack on the United States, they can launch ICBMs, which are nukes, from that aircraft. So it's a pretty impressive plane. All right, I'm just looking through the chat feed real fast. What is N550 GP? I don't know. Let's go take a look here. See if I can find it. N550 GP. See what we got. San Jose to Bahamas. Nassau. That's a nice little, that's a Gulfstream. I don't know who owns that. It's got somebody's thing on it, but maybe one we need to look at. I'll add that to our list and keep an eye on it. So it looks like somebody flew out of San Jose to the Bahamas, and I'm not sure. We know Bahamas is one of our little go-to sites. I think this thing's been flying around California quite a bit. San Jose to, where's that? So it's going to go up to Apopka from there today. Interesting. I don't know. I'll have to research that one and look at it. It is a very good question. So no telling, but it intrigues me that it's going to the Bahamas. So as we've seen our other birds do that. So let me back up. Do a quick check here also on Guantanamo Bay. Just see if we've got any fresh activity in here. And arrivals, departures, vessels in port. So we've got the Coast Guard Tampa. Looks like that one is a new arrival. Law enforcement. All right. So not uncommon to see those come in. There's also one that's a Trump. I think it's William Trump Coast Guard boat too. That's also a law enforcement. So now they could bring people in for sure. I'm sure if they're doing that, they got ways to lock people up. So, but I don't know the ins and outs of that. We got some expected arrivals. So all right. So this Addie Lou that is coming inbound is a tugboat. It comes out of Jacksonville, and every time that shows up, we usually get a boat that comes in. I can't, like I said, I can't believe that they actually motor that thing all the way to Guantanamo Bay from Jacksonville. That just seems like such a waste. Why not just park a tugboat in Guantanamo Bay and leave it there? But they do. And so anytime that shows up, there's usually a big boat. We get a battleship or something roll into Guantanamo. So we'll keep our eye on it. I don't, this also applies, just like the National Defense Act, it also applies. You can't use military assets to transport prisoners to and from Guantanamo Bay. So we'll have the same instance here. I imagine it applies to the Coast Guard and the boats as well. So, all right. I think we have done, I think we've got everything covered here. So I will continue to watch. I think what's going on with these aircraft that we keep seeing going to DC and then parking for a little while or flying from Guantanamo Bay up there, I think we're just positioning assets, putting people into play. I think we're about to see something major go down. This is all of this activity going on at the black sites tells me that they're shaking some people loose that have some valuable information. And so we will just keep watching because I think usually when that happens, somebody goes to jail and somebody big, and I think that's what's coming next. Is we're due to have probably a pretty big announcement of somebody getting their hands caught in the cookie jar on this whole election piece. It could be that. It could be other things too. You know, there are so many threats that are coming against POTUS every day that you know, there's no telling. You know, they could be shaking somebody loose for dirty bombs or club Ks or anything like that. So anyway, all right, folks. So listen, be safe out there, and I will, if anything pops up or I see an aircraft drop in, I'll go live again and show it. This one was a little longer than I anticipated, going 25 minutes, but hopefully it was informative. So you guys be safe, and God bless. Monkey out.